So, I've been asked
Excuse
to
me.
make
iTunes.app needs your attention.
streaming tutorial kind of video. I'm not telling you how to stream because everyone has their own way of doing it. But this is how I do it. This is what I've seen when I was a beginner. Yes, I looked it up. But I basically kind of just taught myself and learned how to do it basically. It does take a lot of practice to get it down. Some may take years, some may take months. It depends on the person and the throat really and how much you use it. Now, before you do anything with screaming or singing, obviously you got to drink a lot of water, keep your vocal cords moisturized, and so they don't tear up and get all scratchy and sound like poop. But with that being said, the main thing you're going to want to use with your screams, it will be the best tool you can use, basically, is your diaphragm. And your diaphragm is right here, or somewhere beneath your ribs and your stomach. It's this little muscle that expands and contracts air. It helps it push in and out of your lungs. So you'll get a more cleaner scream. You'll have more delivery in your scream. Make it sound more cleaner and more better. And just like the pros do it. So just get used to doing that. What I do with my diaphragm is just you can do that, but make and like in and out of your nose, in through your nose, out through your mouth, in and out of your mouth, whatever. As long as you get that diaphragm muscle moving and your stomach muscles moving, because stomach muscles that can help you, bring in air and release air, like so. Stomach muscles. Now, a good diaphragm kind of workout thing is where you bring in as much air as you can. So you go just as much air as you possibly can. Don't let it out. Hold it for 4 seconds. And what you're going to do, slowly let it out. You go for 4 seconds. And then once you're done with that 4 seconds, you hold it for 4 more. Then you release. You do that 3 times. The whole entire thing I just said, do that 3 times. That's one workout. That's the only workout I know, to be honest. And for warm-ups, what I did was what I do is I go kind of like beatboxing noises because that gets your throat going, it warms it up. And I don't know who came up with this, but I actually looked this up because I wanted to expand my knowledge on ways of warming up my throat so it wouldn't hurt the next day or the next minute when I'm done screaming. And one way you gotta go, you do that, you go. You do that. You go like when you do like that. You go really open out like this, and you bring it down to your mid, and then you get it really low. You get it mid, and you get barely back high, and that's you do that, and that warms up your throat and your vocal cords too. Get some little numb, tingly, like ready for action. You're ready to do the shiz that you're doing, that you're watching this for. So yeah, drink water. There is 2 common use screams. There's power fry and there's false chord. And then there's a death growl, which goes along with the false chord, which is more of a lower pitched. And you're going to want to bend your head down like this and like that. And screaming is all about diaphragm, the use of your chords like false chord and power fry, and mouth formation. Mouth formation just make like for high screams, you want to get your mouth as big as you can. Just, ah. Or just like kind of like smiling. I don't know, whatever weird face you make. Just, ah. And then for a mid scream, you're just like a tiki statue. They like go ah. Like that, you go ah. And for your lows and the death growls that people also like, go like this. Make a fishy face, and then for the other ones you go. Or, they work. Trust me, you'll see. Now, for any scream, really like your mids and your lows, and your little death growls, you go, ugh! Like, you got grounded and you're coming home, and you're so mad and you're upset, and you're just, ugh! You peed off, you're kicking stuff, just, ugh! Gotta get into it, go, ugh! Now, for your lows, you do that, you make a fishy face, and go, ugh! Notice how it sounded different. Okay. Now for that being, you put more air into it through your diaphragm, and that brings it up through your throat, pushes it all out, gives that little space. Because think of it like a spring. When it's really low, it has very little space, so as much air gets shoved through that as possible. Very little space when you push your Adam's apple down, right? Oh, it's all about this control too. So think of that as like a spring. You're pressing it, giving it the smallest hole possible to make your little screams. Air's getting pushed out. That make the fishy face. But for my low screams, I'm going to do that sigh. I'm going to make the fishy face and put more air into it and go. Now, for a death growl, you do the same thing, but you bend your head down like this. You get your Adam's apple really down deep, and you go like this. You go. So you go. Kind of in that general formation. And for your mids, you're putting that sigh into it, but you're kind of more like yelling and actually screaming, but adding that sigh. So just like, ah! But you're going, ah! Or, oh! Even if you want for your mids, you can put kind of that sigh into it, but you're expanding your mouth. Again, with the mouth formation, you're opening your mouth up. Oh, excuse me. What I normally do is use my false chord. That low scream and that death growl is used with a false chord. You can do any scream, either a false chord or a power fry. We'll get to power fry next after we hit the highs and the lows and the mids. So we got the lows done, so the mids and the highs with the false chord. So for the mids, you can put that low kind of growl, that sigh into it, and go, oh! Or you can just go, ah! And that's it. A mid scream is really, really easy to do. Same as with the lows. Now the highs is a different story. The highs may take more time for guys, but maybe easier for girls because of their Adam's apple and their higher pitched voice. Guys, we normally have a lower kind of monotone kind of voice. So lows and mids are normally our strong points. But highs, using a false chord, you're going to move your Adam's apple up, shove it straight up there. It's just, high as you can get it. You talk like this and it sounds really weird. But you do this, you put more into it, and you go, ow! Or, that was a bad one, my bad. Don't do that. So you do that, you make that really high voice, But you put that sigh into it, and then freaking move your mouth up really, really wide. Make that really high voice. Yeah. Now for your power fry, you're gonna make the grudge noise. Now a power fry is what everyone knows the band of Mice and Men. Austin Carlyle. That's what he uses. That's his strength. He power fries. So a power fry gonna do the grudge noise, which everyone knows it is so you're gonna make the grudge noise. So just do that for a little bit until you get the idea of it. But for that, you're gonna put more air into that power fry scream. So it's gonna sound a little bit similar to you hear how it's that kind of crackly kind of thing? Like you just hear it kind of like popping, sizzling. Hence the fry. Like it's frying, it's popping, it's crackling. So now you can do that with your highs, mids, and your lows. Now for that uses more of your throat and your vocal cords. So don't use a power fry scream and then go right off in singing, not unless you really, really, really work your throat and have your throat get used to the power fry and the singing, because then eventually it'll start getting used to it and it won't start hurting as bad. But if you try to scream and then sing, your throat's going to hurt so much. Trust me, I've been there. So if you want to do that, just, practice, practice, practice. Again, I stress practicing. Practice! But again, back with the power fry. So for that, you can do any ranges, high, mids, lows. Now for a power fry, you're doing the ah, but you're putting more, you're doing the fishy face, so you're going oh. Notice the difference though, so it's that crackly. For a false chord, you're going power fry. Now, for a power fry mid, you're doing the same thing, but you're just projecting more air out and with the mouth formation ah. So you're going ah, ah. Notice the high and the mid. For the high power fry, you're doing the same thing like this, using that kind of grudge noise in the high squeaky voice like this. And you're putting all of your, like, not all of it, but you're putting air into it, projecting it out, making her face really big, really big. And so I went over power fry, false chord, and the death growl. Now, no matter what you do not, repeat, do not, when you are screaming, drink pop, coffee, cappuccinos. Anything that is not water, do not drink. It will mess up your throat. But you can only, see the funny thing about that is that you can only drink warm or like room temperature water. Because if you drink cold water, it's gonna like freeze up or just get your vocal cords really cold, and they're really thin. They can break easily if you misuse them. So if you put that cold water on there, it's gonna like freeze up, kind of like how ice does. With a lot of pressure, it's gonna break. It's gonna crack. It's gonna snap, and you're not gonna want that. So room temperature, warm water. As good as that may sound, just do that. So drink a lot of water. And practice, practice, practice. I don't know how many times I could stress practice. When you practice, do it one day for like an hour or two. And once you're drinking water, and once you feel your throat getting all crackly, like your screams don't sound the same. You can't put as much force; they don't sound as clean. And your throat feels a little, scratchy and weird. Just stop. Quit for that day, wait another day or 2 days, however long it may be, and then try again. Practice. Practice makes perfect, and eventually you will get it down. But I hope this video helped remember mouth formation, Adam's apple control. Practice that. Diaphragm. Use your diaphragm, not your chest, because we all breathe like this. So, breathe using this. All of this. Your stomach. Lows, put your head down like this. Fishy face, get the low formations going. With regular mid screams, ah. Highs, expand your mouth, get with the mouth formation, drink a lot of water. Warm up before you scream. Drink water while you're warming up. Warm up before you sing even. I can't tell you that because I don't sing that much, but I'm sure there's videos for that. If you've got any questions, please tell me. Put it in the comments, message me on Facebook. I can try to help you the best I can. I hope this video helped. Go to my page. It says Trevor Conley down there. Check out my videos. Hit the like button on this video and share it if you know people who want to know how to scream or get a basic general idea of it, because everyone has their own different sound, scream sound. You can't sound like everyone else. Everyone has their own unique scream. And here's a tip. Everyone's wanting to sound like the best screamer out there, like in really good bands, like take Danny Warsnop or for an example, or like Ollie Sykes or Franz, or like who else? She's a really good screamer. Just had it. Freaking, I don't know, man. Like bands like Chelsea Grin or like Miss May I. Issues, whatever, really good screaming bands. You can't sound like them. I mean, you can if you really tried, but I suggest having it sound like you, what you feel comfortable with. Don't try to sound like everyone else. You have your own voice. You have your voice, not their voice. Your voice. Make it sound how you like it. All right. Thanks.